let's move on to the most underrated manager in the league. Oh, we got some juicy shouts here. Gary O'Neill, Rob Edwards, and David Moyes.
I'll tell you who it's not. It's not David Moyes.
Underrated.
He's not underrated.
You think he's adequately
No,
rated?
I think he's overrated. I think the fact that he's in a job is testament to him.
Really?
He shouldn't be the West Ham manager.
I would have said that at the beginning of the season.
What does that
I
mean?
think he's turned it round now, you know?
What does that, like, the West Ham manager means getting them top 10 in Europe.
Speaking of Queen's English there. He shouldn't be the West Ham manager. I can say it no clearer than that.
So in order for West Ham to progress, Boothie,
Yeah, West Ham are
Surely
when I was
they
a
need to
kid, they were
move
in the
on from him.
Championship coming up and down. I mean, he's got them into winning a cup for the first time in decades.
oh, they want to kick on though. They want to kick on.
If anyone's a West Ham manager, it's David Moyes.
No. I think. Do you know what, Booth? West Ham as a club, I think particularly when you're from London, right? Their fans, they're a bit like Tottenham fans, where they genuinely believe. Oh, look, you know the West Ham way, the concept of the West Ham way. I'm a Chelsea fan. I know it's nonsense. You're a Man City fan. You know it's nonsense. You're an Arsenal fan. You know it's nonsense. But you know, to them, like they believe it. There is a way that the game
forward
has.
and
There is a particular way to play the game.
Fine.
Like they honestly believe that they won the World Cup. You know when you talk to a West Ham fan.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
and we know it's nonsense, right? But you know when you talk to a West Ham fan, they go, you know, we won a World Cup. You're like, I don't know what you're talking about, you utter moron, but fine. Like, they genuinely believe it.
Yeah.
But there was
This football that they are being served up under David Moyes, it's so unacceptable to them.
Fine.
Yeah,
That's a good.
there was times they was playing good football under Alan Pardew. They played good football. They had good teams.
Well, Harry Redknapp won it. You know,
Oh, yeah, the Redknapp team.
Redknapp
Yeah,
was very
Redknapp
special.
and then Pardew sometimes there's times they did play good football, so they're not.
I think
they're not
Moyes has played
starved
good
from
football.
it.
The other
Points,
thing is,
but-
you know,
but yeah.
if West Ham are to ever become the club that they want to be, you know how they're marketing themselves?
Which
the
is
London club,
expectations?
the London club, big ground, making it even bigger, winning in Europe, calling the stadium, making themselves like London, London's representative for football. You know, if you actually want to be that, there is never a better time to bring in a progressive manager.
Yeah.
Than now, when you're sitting up at the league, when you've just won in Europe,
Got
when
great
you've got
signings coming in.
some brilliant players there, you've got some money coming in as well because of the sales of Declan Rice and so on. There isn't a better time to improve.
They need to
Yeah,
take that
spot
leap
on.
of faith. They need to take that next
Like
step.
Palace, maybe.
Yeah,
obviously
they need to.
better,
Yeah,
but-
defo.
but-
Palace. That's
What
not-
about Gary O'Neill? I think he's chronically underrated. I'm glad that they'll finish above Bournemouth because I think he should have stayed at Bournemouth. They should have kept him, and it was a lack of loyalty from the owner, the American owner, of course, at Bournemouth. But Gary O'Neill, completely underrated because it's not just about two banks of four playing five midfield, packing it out. It's explosive counter-attacking football. They're good on the ball. They're dynamic. They're exciting. He's got, if he can have this kind of philosophy at a bigger club with money, he could be the next. Oh, sounds ridiculous. I know Harry Redknapp gets bad stick, but you know when he was at Southampton and
Excellent
Portsmouth,
manager. He won a trophy.
no,
for
but
Portsmouth,
he's not
yeah.
very fashionable in modern day football narratives. He's a bit like Harry Redknapp. He's a people's manager, and he gets the individual strength out of every player to the best of their ability.
Do you think he'd be doing a better job than Pochettino right now, Gary O'Neill?
I think
galvanising the team.
Gary O'Neill is the answer to this question. I think Gary O'Neill is absolutely brilliant. And you know when people talk about, you know when big jobs become available,
Yeah.
we immediately go De Zerbi. I think that Gary O'Neill is quite close to being involved in that conversation. Frank De Zerbi, I think it should go Frank De Zerbi, O'Neill. In that order, probably with De Zerbi top. Like De Zerbi could easily get the Liverpool job.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm not suggesting that Gary O'Neill could get the Liverpool job yet, but I think Gary O'Neill should be in consideration for if David Moyes were to leave. In fact, he played for West Ham. That's quite good.
Funny
If
enough.
David Moyes were to leave, I think they probably wouldn't go in that direction. But I think Gary O'Neill should certainly be in contention. I think the miracle that he worked at Bournemouth is really underrated. And if Pep Guardiola didn't win a treble, if he didn't win it on any metric, right? If United, bloody, what's his name, the keeper, De Gea doesn't decide to just let Gundogan score from wherever he fancies, and somehow Man United win that game. Let's pretend, right? Alternate parallel universe. Man United win the game, Man City win a double. I'm having Gary O'Neill as manager of the year. Last year, that's Bournemouth.
Yeah.
This year he's gone into Wolves. Lopetegui, really good manager, really experienced manager, excellent CV. He looked at Wolverhampton Wanderers in the summer and he went, sod this.
Yeah, you got.
I ain't doing this. He even went, look, I quite like the club, I quite like the fans. I'll sit tight for training through the summer. I'll look after the team. But the second the season starts, I'm not working here.
Yeah,
This is ridiculous. You're going down. I'm not doing it.
Fold it.
O'Neill comes in, wallop. They're safe.
Yeah, safe,
What date is it? It's early Feb.
They're pushing European
And they're
places.
safe. Yeah, they're looking up. Absolutely
Ridiculous.
They're not worried about. They're not worried about what Forest are getting up to. They're not worried about what Luton are getting up to.
Yeah.
They're looking at what Man United
They're
are doing.
behind Brighton.
They're looking at what Man United.
They
are
was
getting
tipped
up to.
to almost be in a relegation battle last season. 100%.
Gary O'Neill. My vote. If we're doing this in a democratic way, Gary O'Neill all day long and twice on a Sunday.
I think we should cover Rob Edwards, of course, with Luton Town, because I think what he's doing there with a very limited budget, the way they applied themselves
early.
at Newcastle.
It's just early.
It's too early, because they could still get relegated. But we talk about Kenilworth Road, of course, the home form, but Newcastle away, St James's Park, the way he's got Adebayo scoring it, that is not easy going to St James's Park as Luton Town manager and getting a performance. And the big thing is, it's not about just setting up defensively and being conservative, hard to break down. He's got Ross Barkley operating on a kind of level where he was at Chelsea or Everton.
He's
better
Ross
than
Barkley.
that. Better than Chelsea.
Well, yeah, exactly. Yeah, but certainly
No, mate,
Everton.
you're
form.
right. The contributions at Adebayo's form, like Adebayo scoring as many Premier League hat-tricks as Eric Cantona.
Oh, wow. One thing I like about Rob Edwards is he's got Luton playing to their strengths, man. And that's,
Good manager.
Yeah, he's a very good manager. He's got them playing to their strengths.
You're absolutely right, Mark. Plays the cards he's dealt, innit?
Yeah.
He's not doing a Vincent Company.
Yeah, he's not trying to play at the back and do all that stuff and then trying to mix it in the middle and then we knock it right. He's not trying to do none of that.
No.
He's just get it out to get it wide.
These guys are championship players.
Yeah.
Adebayo, obviously, half these players have never played in Premier League football. And he's getting them to Premier League levels mid-season. He's a coach. He's a proper coach.
They know what they have. They are a championship team. And when you play in that type of stadium and you play a championship team, to some degree, you come down to that level. So we're going to make it a hard game for you. We're going to cross. We're going to get it out wide and cross the balls and spam crosses in and go long. Do you understand? And he's playing, like I said, he's playing to his strengths. They're not trying to play the Premier League way.
Yeah. No, fair play to him. Yeah, 2 men up front. It's crazy gang, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
It's Holloway's Blackpool, or it's Laurie Sanchez and Dennis Wise at Wimbledon. It's like proper.
Should we
proper
rank
old
them
school
from
stuff.
1 to 3? 3 being the worst.
Can I ask you both a quick question? Do you think, not Moyes because of the age, effectively, but O'Neill Edwards, do you believe that when significant Premier League jobs become available, I'm not talking top tier, but I'm talking the rung below top tier, does Edwards get an interview? Does O'Neill get an interview? Are West Ham watching what Edwards is doing? Are West Ham watching what O'Neill is
With
doing?
De Zerbi,
Or are they going to go for their own version of Areola?
I think the way De Zerbi at Brighton, O'Neill, Edwards, these guys are the kind of just outside. Unai Emery's too big a manager. Guardiola, Klopp, these guys are too entrenched, too big. But those two in particular, Edwards and O'Neill, wow, they're young, they're exciting. They can mould themselves to any club, man.
Agreed. I completely agree.
Beautiful.
Right, rank them 1, 2, 3.
I think we can all agree pretty easy. Gary O'Neill 1.
I think he's in it.
Rob Edwards will get 1 if he keeps Luton up, in my opinion. And David Moyes 3.
Perfect.
There's 12,500 of you who have joined the official club mini league. Thank you so much for joining. Obviously, make sure you download the app if you haven't already and join our mini league.
That's right. Please make sure that you join our mini league. If you're not in it yet, it's not too late. You just need to sign up and use the link in the description and the code that is Club23. Remember, the Super 6 app is completely free to play, and if you predict 6 football scores correctly, you will win £250,000